Hey everybody, Secure Team 10 here, and thank you for tuning in. We've got a very interesting video for you today. The video we're going to talk about is regarding an image that was brought to us by the Coverup spacecraft. It's a Japanese spacecraft orbiting the moon, and it's taken some very interesting photos here. So we're going to take a look at a photo that I recently posted a video about. The video that I posted about the other day was regarding a spherical type anomalous structure that was over top of a canyon here. This is the image in question. We've got a long canyon, actually goes in and underneath this spherical type structure. Now, as I said in my previous video, the sun is up in the right hand corner, the upper right. So this right here would be a reflection from the sun. It completely correlates or with where the sun is in the sky. The second object that we spoke about in my last video was this right here, which looks like some sort of mining vehicle. It's got a long trail of dugout soil behind it. Sun is shining down on the right side, left side is in shadow. It's got these four distinct wheel looking objects on each side, and it's just very anomalous, very interesting. Both of these objects are very interesting. Today we're going to look at a few more objects that I have found very anomalous and very interesting. Now the first object here, zoom in for you. This right here is almost obvious as soon as you see it. Now all I've done to this is actually just used my burn tool and just brought out the blackness of it a little bit more so you can see it here. If you look at the original photo, you'll see that it's still perfectly visible without anything being done to it, without any contrast being added. But you can see here we have a triangular structure coming up, coming back down. The sun is shining down here from the top right, hitting the structure, and then we have another perfect triangular shadow that's the exact size of this object here, and the shadow is on the ground, as I said, in correlation with where the sun is and in correlation with the slant of the surface of where a shadow would be. So this is very interesting. The second image I'd like to show you is this right here. This looks like some sort of object that's coming off the ground. I don't know if it's a mound. I don't know if it's a man-made object, or dare I say alien-made. But it comes up off the ground here, and it's got some sort of what looks like a satellite dish on top of it. You see we've got a circular object here with a smaller circular object in the middle. This obviously comes up off the ground here, and then right here we have an elongated object with another little circular orb on top of it. Let me go ahead and turn the green on there for you so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. You can see it comes up there, some sort of circular object on the top. We've got an elongated tower type structure with a circular structure on top. Now this could be a crater in the background, but it still doesn't take away from the main fact that there is an object here, and there is a slant here of soil that comes up off the ground, and does have a definite satellite, or I'm sorry, a definite dish type structure here. So let's go ahead and move on. Now these are the main objects of my attention from this image so far. Now as I go along and research this image a little bit more, I'll definitely put up some more videos, but these are what I like to call the bridges, or well, they're tunnels, but they're no less suspended over this long canyon here. You can see that this is a canyon. We can see the surface here, and the surface slants down into a canyon with a shadow in the bottom. And we have what I like to call a bridge here with a shadow underneath. And then another bridge right here goes across this canyon with another shadow underneath. Now these bridges, as I like to call them, the shadows of them perfectly correlate with where the sun is shining down. If you look at this bridge right here in particular, the right and top side of this bridge here is being hit and reflecting sunlight as it would, and then the left and bottom of this bridge type structure is in shadow, as it would as if the sun was up in the right hand corner, as it is. So the light reflecting off of this bridge as well as the shadow below it perfectly correlates with where the sun is in the sky. We have another bridge type object here with a shadow that starts here and widens as it goes down into the canyon right here. And the interesting thing about this bridge is it comes across and it goes into a large spherical type object, which you can see here. Now, if you look right here, this may be another object right here, which would be why there's a small shadow cast on top of this orb here. Because this looks like an object standing up, sun is shining down, hitting it, which is why the right side of it is reflecting sunlight and the left side of it is beginning to become in shadow. And we have this large orb behind it, which the sunlight is hitting, and the shadow part right here would perfectly correlate with an object that was here, as it would be casting a shadow onto this large sphere. And if you look, both of these bridge type structures are going across over top of these canyons, casting shadows, and both bridges are going in to what look like similar anomalous objects. This bridge here looks like it's going into this large spherical structure. And one of the things I've noticed about this image, there's one structure in particular that I've been finding a lot, and that is a diamond-shaped structure, which you will see actually at the end of this bridge here, standing upright. Here is the diamond-shaped structure. We've got sunlight hitting off the top of it. We can see through the middle of it here, and the sunlight and shadow, this image, the way it's reflecting off of it correlates with where the sun is in the sky. We have another diamond-shaped object right here, which I didn't highlight, but you can plainly see it. There's one side, another side, comes back down, and then it looks like we have two legs here. And you can see the sun is shining down on it. There's a leg right here with the sun shining down. It's possible that the angle of this object was such that the sun is hitting the other side of it, and we are seeing the side in shadow. So, diamond-shaped object here, diamond-shaped object right here, and then we have a stack of other similar-looking objects that have flat tops, if you look right here. And these objects are stacked one by one in front of each other and are curving around in a semicircle, as if you were to put a bunch of dominoes up one by one and curve them in a semicircle. You can see these definite objects here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see the sunlight hitting the tops and reflecting off the tops of these objects. This object here, you can definitely see it, I've highlighted, is touching the ground, is standing upright. Let me go ahead and turn off the highlight. And you can still see these objects without them being highlighted. They're definitely stacked up like domino chips. They're definitely wrapping around the side. And then to add to it, we have our diamond-shaped structure here. We've got our two bridges that are coming across, both with shadows that correlate with where the sunlight is. We've got an orb here. We've got the satellite dish type object right here. And lastly, we have our large triangular-like structure here with the shadow on the surface. There's a lot of objects in this image. Now I'm sure you'll be able to find objects in here that aren't really objects, but the objects that we've discussed so far, I would not accept if someone wanted to say that they were glitches or pixelation. We are zoomed into this image, but I can still make out detail. I can still make out the shadows. When you have objects that have shadows that correlate with where the sun is in the sky, objects that have reflections of said sunlight that perfectly correlate where the sun is in the sky, there's definitely something there. So we will keep searching through these images, and I will put up new videos ASAP. Once again, I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. So thanks a lot for checking out another video. Subscribe, stay tuned, and keep coming back. And have a nice day.